Afternoon everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this afternoon we're going to be doing a kind of a first review of this, the Electro-Harmonix Canyon Delay Looper pedal. I don't think we're going to have time to get into too much detail with it because there's so many features to this. This is not just your bog standard delay pedal. There's lots of sort of other hidden functions and features in this and sounds in this. Okay, so for today's video I'm going to be using my Fender Player One Strat. That's going straight into my Boss DS1 for distortion, and then into that, and then into the front end of the clean channel of the amp. So it sounds like this. So, you know, pretty bog standard, good little pedal platform, nice and clean, not a hint of gain on there at all. I've dialed in a little bit of middle into the clean tone because the DS1 kind of likes it, and I've also left the tone shift out just if you're interested. Anyway, so for dirt I've got my DS1, so it sounds like this. So I'm going to have some fun with that later, and then straight into the Canyon. Right, so before we start, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically reset the pedal back to its factory settings. So to do that, we'll hold down the tap divide button and the pedal and the switch, and then we'll just keep them held down, the flashes, and then there we go. We're back to factory presets. Okay, so I'm gonna this is a complicated pedal, so I'm gonna have to use the manual, but let's just step through this and see how it goes. Right, so right from the start, I might as well just go through a couple of the features before I start. On the left hand side you've got, you know, your guitar in. You've also got an external tap. Now the foot switch can actually double up as a tap. If you tap it more than once, you can set the tap tempo, which is cool. Also inside this, if you take the back plate off, I'll just show you the back plate. So if you unscrew the back plate, there's a sort of a micro switch in here that you can switch the reverb or the delay trails on or off, which is a nice feature. I think that they're on by default, so I'll keep it on. So yeah, so let's just get that back in the shot for you. Okay, so right, so clean channel to start, and let's just go through it. So like I say, what you've got is you've got a sort of a delay type select. You've got your blend, which is the kind of mix between your dry signal and the affected or the delayed signal. You've got the delay time, and you've got the feedback. Now, if you hold this button, the tap divide, actually, before I explain that, the tap divide actually sets the delay between, what is it? I'm going to go with the manual here. Let's read the manual. Let's find out. Doesn't tell you. Where's it tell you? Anyway, I'm not going to waste your time. This basically splits the timing like quarter note, a dotted eighth, or eighth note, I think. And if it's on and you press that, it goes different colors: yellow, green, red, to denote the quarter or the dotted eighth or the dotted or the eighth. Sorry. So yeah, you can split up the delay times. I'm just going to go turn it off for now. Anyway, right, and if you hold that down, that activates the sort of the secondary functions of this pedal, which is basically these two knobs here, the delay and the feedback. So not all of the delay types have a secondary function. So for example, the echo, the first one doesn't, but the modulation has a modulation rate on here and a modulation depth, and they're all different, but we'll go through them. Anyway, I'm waffling. We need to just have a go at this pedal, don't we? Because we're 5 minutes into the video almost. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Right, everything at 12, and it's been factory resetted. Right, so let's turn the pedal on. So this is the echo. Okay, so this is just basically your standard delay. Unaffected repeats. Let's just turn the delay time up to max. I think the max delay time is 3 seconds on this, which is a lot. But let's just bring that back. And obviously you can mess about with the mix. Just have that sitting behind the guitar. We'll turn the feedback up a bit. So some nice trails on there now. So you know, that's a great start. I mean, the reason I bought this pedal was I wanted to get back into sort of proper compact pedals, proper delay pedals. It was either this or the bog standard. I think it's the Boss DD8 now. I just like the look of this. I know that this has got a lot of extra features, which I'm not sure is a good thing. I think I might have actually wanted something a bit more basic, you know, a bit more sort of focused on core delay sounds, but we'll get to that in a bit. So, and then if I whack the distortion in, let's just back the level a bit more. Turn the feedback down a bit. So, you know, nice simple start. You know, there's no secondary function on the first mode, which is echo. Right, okay, so let's just flick to the next mode, which is modulation. So what that's going to do is the repeats will be sort of have a bit of a modulation effect to them. I don't know if that's chorus or it's vibrato or what, but let's listen. Right, so the first thing I noticed there is when you switch between the delay types, it keeps the values of the knobs, if you know what I mean. So if you've got everything at 12 o'clock, right, and you're in echo mode, and then you change to mod, and then you shorten the delay time dramatically, and then we switch back to echo, it's kept the sound, so it kind of doesn't save the sounds. I'm not sure if it does that for the secondary mode, but we'll come to that. So that's interesting. I was expecting it to sort of keep the sounds, but I guess it makes sense because the positions of the knobs are dictating where you are, rather than it's saving it, so you get confused. But anyway, modulation mode. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's engage the secondary function. So when it's engaged, it'll go on, off in that sequence, so we know. So now for modulation, the delay level, the delay amount, that becomes your modulation rate. Too much. And this becomes your modulation depth. So let's up that a bit and back that off a bit. Too much. So apparently the default position for this is 8 o'clock, right? And the default position for this is 12 o'clock, so that's your default. Let's just up this. So what we'll do, we'll just disengage the secondary mode, right? And then we're going to turn the delay off, right? So in theory, this is where the hidden sort of charm of this pedal is, really. You know, you can have just modulation effects on their own. So if we just go back to modulation mode with the delay off, we can then mess about with this. And we can mess about with having like a, you know, a bit of a chorus effect, I guess. Anyway, that's interesting. So just, there you go. Let's see how that sounds with drive. It's kind of flangery, isn't it? And then just back off the effects level. Very usable sound. So there you go, you'll be messing on for about 2 or 3 minutes there just on that effect type. Very interesting. Okay, so the next one is the multi delay. Okay, so right, so what that's doing is it's kind of holding the note, isn't it? It's not decaying. Which is an interesting effect. Let's turn the level up a bit. And if you turn the feedback up, now then, that's interesting. So the secondary mode of this is the feedback does nothing, but the delay time is a swell. So that's fading away, and then if we go the opposite direction, it's fading in. Very interesting. With distortion. Now let's increase the feedback. This is a fun type of delay, isn't it? Anyway, that's interesting. You know, like I say, we could spend an hour on each of these delay modes if we wanted to, but I just wanted to run through it with you quickly. So the next preset is, we'll just have a look, reverse. Oh yes, we'll like a bit of reverse delay. Now let's get everything back. tell when he's sort of doing the solo, I mean, and he's doing bent notes. This is a really nice effect. I guess one of the most famous uses of this is, I think it's What's the Frequency, Kenneth by R.E.M. That the solo, that is a kind of a reverse solo, which is quite memorable. So the secondary feature of this is, oh, we're already on the secondary feature, right, is, sorry, we'll turn that off then. Up the feedback. Right, and the secondary feature for that is, just on this one, this time, is the plug sensitivity. So if we just back that right off, that seems to pick it up really quickly. And if we go the opposite direction, so it seems like the higher that's set, the more it sort of grabs onto the note earlier. The more it's set anti-clockwise. I'll be honest with you, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what that knob's doing with the plug sensitivity. I need to delve into this a lot more, I think. Very interesting effect, you know, and this is why one of the reasons why I got this pedal, you know, for having the different types of delay. You know, I mean, I wasn't really that interested in the different, you know, modulation types of effect or what have you, but, you know, the reverse effect, I love it. You know, you can spend hours with that. Anyway, next one, Deluxe Memory Man, right? So this is a digital pedal, by the way. You know, it's not an all analog pedal. The innards of this are actually digital. So this is kind of an emulation of the Electro-Harmonix Deluxe Memory Man. So sorry about that. That's what delay pedals are supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, this is a kind of a thicker style delay, which has got a kind of a nice modulation effect on it as well. You know, so, you know, but it's a lot beefier sounding than the modulation delay type. Back the clean channel. Back off the gain, up that, back off the level. Up the feedback. Back off the feedback. And with gain. Really thick sounding delay this. You know, it makes lead notes sing when you've got overdrive on it. functions then. Modulation rate, modulation depth, right? So it's 10 o'clock. Let's have a look. I'm just looking for the default positions. Anyway, let's just do it. Turn the distortion off. Too much. Factory default is 0 on this. The default on that is 10 o'clock. Tell you what, let's just knock the go back into there. We're going to knock the delay time off again. We're going to go back in and we're just going to mess about with just the modulation. That's very phasery that time, isn't it? Take it to extremes. Oh, nasty. Right. Bit again. Let's get the delay back in there. Yeah, very thick sounding, you know, quite lush sounding modulation on that as well. Maybe the best idea for that is, you know, literally a bit of subtlety really in the modulation, right? Let's try that. Let's put the delete repeats in. We're not going to go there. Right, okay, so that's an interesting one again. You know, I'm getting carried away. You spend ages on that one. Okay, so next one is the tape delay. Now, here's another interesting one. Let's just back off the distortion. Let's just go back to 12 o'clock. So, you know, that's adding a bit of, you know, tape distortion onto the notes. Which is thickening them up a bit, isn't it? Yep. So, interestingly, the secondary function of these are, you know, you can increase the distortion with this. Oof, that's a lot. Just increase the level, you can get a lot. And then you've got what's called the flutter modulation depth, whatever that is. So the default is 9 p.m. Let's see how I'm going to increase that. Alright, so it's just fluctuating there. So you get some crazy sounds out of that. Now, you know, I'm not going to lie, you know, it is quite easy to get some pretty dreadful sounds out of this pedal, you know, but it can, I think, can also surprise you. That needs to be backed right off, that's ridiculous. So the default for that is 9 o'clock, and the default for that is 10. 10 o'clock for that, 9, that's the default. Which is nice. Less flutter. And if you turn them both to minimum, according to the manual, you get a clean, fresh tape tone. Let's just flick back. Let's increase the delay time. Increase the mix. Right, now then, let's see what this sounds like. And with distortion in front of that. Yeah, so I think you'll be spending a lot of time kind of tinkering around with this one, the tape delay mode, you know, to find something that you like. But there's a lot of versatility in there. Okay, so next one is a delay with a reverb trail on the end of it. So let's just go back, see what this sounds like. I don't know, I'm just sort of detecting something a little bit synthetic about this one. Yes, got a bit of a plate reverb thing going on there. So let's just have a look at the secondary functions, right? So that's reverb time and reverb tone. Okay, so let's go with the tone at max. And then the other way. Oh yeah, so higher is more sort of treble. It's kind of shelving it all off until you get, which is, you know, that's quite muffled. Then you've got the delay time here, so let's see what it sounds like, just shortening it a bit. I think I like the cleaner reverb. See, now I like that. Now I like, that's the beauty of the secondary function, you know, you can sort of, it gives you better tweakability, you know. If you find something that you don't like, you can go into it and sort of change it. No, I like that. I like that. Now if I'm going to back off the effects level. Yeah, see, that's what I don't like about it. You see, do you hear that? If you play it hard, you get that harshness. I'm not sure. Let's see what happens when I back off that. It's better. So I think the key to this one is the reverb is it's nice if you play it subtly, but like I say, if you play hard, you get that sort of, yeah. This is my least favorite of the delay types so far, if I'm being honest. Disappointing, that one, I think. Anyway, next we have Octave. Oh yes, okay. So now let's get the mix back up for this one. So it's doing the octave below, like a sub-octave and the high octave at the same time. Now the secondary functions of this is the high one, this is the low one. So if we want, we can just turn off the high octave. I think. Octave up level, and that's octave down level. No, there we go. Adding a little bit of high, or just have the high. Right now, let's come out of that, right, and let's increase the feedback. Now let's have some fun. Feedback max. Nice. But hold on a second there, I forgot to do something. Back to the reverb type. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the delay off. That should be just delay, right? And then I can really... So yeah, maybe the reverb wasn't that bad after all. That's the reverb, let's just, you know, work on that. Little bit of reverb time. Long reverb time. Craziness. Let's go for the distortion. And then just go back to the effect and put some delay time in there. maximum feedback. Getting carried away again. Anyway, what am I saying? Back to the octave. Right, so let's tell you what, let's turn off the delay. This is distorted still. Got the secondary function. Let's see what this sounds like if I just have just the sort of sub-octave. Oh my word, that sounds brilliant. And I've got to say, the tracking is the best I've heard. This is the best tracking octave I've ever heard. I've already, you know, there's always a bit of a delay in it. You know, some of them have trouble picking up the notes, but this is great. Even chords. Let's see what's like on max. Oh, honestly, this is a big surprise, right? I mean, it tracks the notes so well. There's hardly any lag when you're playing the notes. It just sounds really natural. This is a great octaver. Just bringing in some of the highs. Maybe just the highs. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the. Let's turn up the mix to the max. So that's no dry signal. Mad, absolutely mad. Now, on to, you know, what some would say is, you know, the standout effect really in a lot of effects pedals. This is what, you know, a lot of the multi-effects pedals out there, you know, this is a big effect for them. This is the Shimmer. So let's have a look. So this effect, I mean, I've heard a few different Shimmers. It kind of makes the guitar sound a little bit like an organ, I suppose. The best use I've found of this is where the clean sound is. If you use sort of like a violin in the tone, so something like this. It just adds something. I mean, I think let's actually have a look at the manual to see how this is actually constructed, because I think this is a few different Electro-Harmonix effects. Right, so it's a pitch shifter, it's a delay mod, and it's a compressor, apparently. This mod creates a shimmer effect, generating a rich octave shifted wash of harmony with your guitar. The Canyon achieves this by modeling a chain of EHS effects. There you go. And I'd be interested to see what this sounds like with distortion. So, single notes. I'm just gonna maximum effect. great for, you know, your soundscapes and all that. Now, if I go to the secondary mode on this, this changes the low pass filter and the modulation depth. Now, bit of a lottery this, but let's give it a go. And the modulation depth. Whoa. I can get carried away with that very quickly. So higher, it brings more of the higher frequencies through. Lower, it doesn't. So if you want sort of a thicker sounding wash of sound, go for the sort of anti-clockwise. And if you want more treble in there, that's too much. So kind of, if you want to sit it in the background, I would go for there. Yeah, let's try with a bit of distortion again. Now then, what we got next? So sample hold, SH mode, right? So what that does is, let's just put this back. So if I play something, nothing happens. Don't know why nothing's happening on this, ladies and gentlemen. What? Oh, there we go. Right. I'm not even sure what they're supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. I was expecting a bit of a freeze function or something like that. Tell you what, let's just go back to factory resets again for this. I'm not sure if it's something's messed up. Right, okay. So the delay knob, volume, decay, and swell, factory default is 12 o'clock with no decay or swell. If the knob is turned above 12 o'clock, the echoes will begin silent and increase in volume. Right. Ah, there we go. I'm very confused about this one, ladies and gentlemen. Very confused. It's kind of a little bit like the multi-delay. Ah, there we go. Right. So that sets it off. That keeps going. Then it can play over the top. But it's triggered by your playing. So if I play hard, it triggers that. And when I play soft, it doesn't trigger it. Unless I do this. Right, I've got it. Let's have some fun with distortion. But it's harder because it picks up the notes easier. Yeah, so the secondary function for that is the decay and the swell. So need to get better at that. That's I need to have a proper look at the manual to see how that works. Ah, so the feedback controls the sensitivity to the plucks. There we go. So it's picking up that. Now it gets more sensitive. Anyway, yeah, so that controls when it picks it up. But I'm starting to waffle a bit with this one now, so let's just turn that off. Right, so, okay. So the last one is a looper, which is, you know, quite a fully featured looper. So I'm going to get the manual out for this again, because this could be a bit of a nightmare. Because I'm not, you know, I haven't got my foot either. So let's just see what happens with this. Sorry about that, it's just to get a loop down. So the idea is you can just play over the top of this. bad loop. I think if we just hold it. That's wiped it. Double tap. Anyway, it's got, let's just go through. So you can record a loop, you can play back. It's got overdub, it's got undo, redo. You can erase the loop, and it's also got loop memory. So if you turn the pedal off, it keeps your last loop, I think. Anyway, let's just have a look at this. So the knobs for this are, there's a loop, I've got a secondary function. I doubt it. Oh, no, it hasn't. So the looper hasn't got a secondary function. But let's just have a look and see what the knobs do for the looper, because you might be interested. So the looper. So it's got a maximum loop time of 62 seconds, which is good. A recording loop is stored permanently even when the canyon is removed from power. As a special feature, the feedback knob controls the level of the existing loop that is preserved when overdubbing. Okay, so that controls that. I'm not sure what the delay does. I guess nothing. Anyway, so I've got it in distortion, right? So I'm gonna just try and record something, right? That didn't work, did it? Press the foot just once to record a loop. Right, sorry. Press it twice. Then hold, that erases it, right? So to record the loop, I'm going to press it once, right? So. Kind of. So I'm just going to wipe it. Right, I'm going to have less of a volume of the playback, so I'm just going to back that off a bit. Let's try that again. It's better. Anyway, I haven't really got a lot of experience with loopers, but I think we're coming up for almost an hour now, so I think you get an idea of what this pedal is kind of capable of. Now, what I will say is, this is kind of not what I was expecting this pedal to be. I was expecting it to be predominantly, you know, like a really great, inspiring delay pedal. The few extra features, a few little, you know, nice features, you know, like the shimmer's nice, and it's nice that it's got a looper. But personally, I think that this pedal is veering more into a kind of a multi-effects pedal. You know, I think. And we've already got those on the market. You know, something like, you know, the Zoom, is it the MG70 or M70G or whatever it's called? You've got those compact multi-effects pedals which have got all the delays in it. It's got all the separate choruses, probably, you know, probably better choruses, easier switching, more convenient switching, more convenient memory saving and everything. This is kind of, yeah, it's just sort of for messing about within the house, really, I guess. You know, you can't save anything on this. If you find a sound that you like, it's, you know, it's probably, you're gonna have to write down the settings, you know, not just these settings, but the secondary function settings as well. So, you know, would it work on a, you know, live for a pedal board? Yeah, it would work if you just wanted a single delay and you weren't, you know, and you knew what your settings were. It would work for that, but you couldn't use it to switch about different settings. It would be hard to change on the fly. I guess for recording, you know, this could also come in useful. It's got a range of effects. I kind of think it's sort of fell between a few stools, really. As a sort of, you know, a dedicated delay pedal, it kind of misses the mark for me, I think. This is not really what I was expecting. You know, it's certainly better than probably what you get on the multi-effects, I guess. You know, some of the effects are great. You know, this is the standard, you know, echo, and then you've got your Memory Man, you've got your various flavors. They're nice, but, you know, I think if you wanted to veer into other effects, I think something like, you know, the Zoom MG7, I think it's, no, the MS70 is probably a better way to go, the MS50 or whatever it's called, or just a small multi-effects if that's what you wanted. I think if you wanted a really great delay pedal, you would probably have to pay more than the £99 that I paid for this, which is, you know, quite a good price, really. So yeah, I think, yeah, it's it's kind of it's a typical Electro-Harmonix product, I'd say. It's a bit quirky. You know, the build quality is great, by the way. You know, all metal chassis. I love the light. You know, especially, you know, when you go through the different when it gets to yellow and it looks like the sun. That looks great. And let's just get off the delay model. Yeah. You know, I like the way you can use it as a top tempo, or you can have a top in. But what I think it's doing is it's giving you the versatility. It's giving you extra versatility, right? But that extra versatility is a pain to get to, and you can't save it. It's kind of a, you know, you sat there with it, and you're coming up with effects, which is nice. Or you could be using it for recording, I guess. But you would have to write everything down if you wanted to sort of reuse that setting. You couldn't really use it for live. What can you actually use it for? What's it actually for? What is this pedal actually for? You know? Now, so yeah, I'm a bit confused by this pedal. I set out to buy a really great delay pedal, and there is some really good and great delay sounds on this. I think it's quite easy to get sort of distracted by everything that's under the hood, I'd say. I mean, you know, in contrast that, right, to the DS1, which I reviewed a while ago, you know, so, you know, you know what you're getting. You've got just the 3 buttons, and it's either off or it's on. You know, which to me, I think is more fun than messing about with extra features. I'd rather have something, I think, simple that sounds brilliant, that you know where you are with. Anyway, it's been a long video. It could have been a much longer one. If you want to purchase one of these and you want to support the channel, I'll put an affiliate link up to Guitar Center. Check out the description. Other than that, thanks for watching. It's been fun going through the different sounds. Let us know what you think about this pedal in the comments. Some people love it. Some people think it's a bit weird. Some people, you know, it's a bit of a jack of all trades, I guess. Is it better than something like a Boss DD7 or DD8? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.